Chapter 5 The Great Monkey. Prior to taking birth as a human being, Bodhisatwa was born as a monkey. He began to live in the Himalayas with a herd of other monkeys and soon became the king of this large herd. All of them would roam freely on the mountains, eat ripe fruits growing on the tree, and jump and romp on the branches. One day, while playing together, their eyes fell on a huge mango tree growing on the bank of the river Ganga. The tree had thick leaves, heavy branches, and was as high as a mountain. Its dense foliage provided not only shade but a crop of delicious mangoes too. The main branch of the tree extended over river Ganga, whereas the others hung low over the ground. As a result, some fruit would fall into the river and some on the ground. A few, which grew between the two branches, fell at the base of the tree. The monkeys enjoyed eating the fruit as they found it sweet and delicious. An ape, along with other companions, also took to visiting this particular tree every night to savor the fruit. Soon Bodhisattva, as the leader of the monkeys, came to realize that some fruits that fell into the river were getting swept away along with the current of the river water. This meant that someday the villagers living on the river bank would come to know about this tree by tracing the source of the fruit. Subsequently, they could create trouble for the monkeys. Thinking thus, Bodhisattva advised the members of his clan to pluck all the mangoes from that branch of the tree that hung low over the river. The monkeys began to do exactly as advised by their leader. However, in spite of being careful, they missed out on one bud that grew behind the thick foliage. This bud soon blossomed into a flower and then into a fruit. A few days later, the ripe fruit fell into the river and got carried down along with the flow of the current. At some distance, King Brahmadatta, who was the ruler of Varanasi, happened to set up his camp on the river front. While taking a bath in the river, he noticed a fruit floating on the river water. He swam towards it and grabbed it. The fruit turned out to be a mango. When he ate the mango, he was amazed at its lovely fragrance and taste. He asked his soldiers to trace out the tree to which the fruit belonged. After a careful search, the soldiers came to the huge tree growing on the bank of the river Ganga. The king decided to camp under the thick foliage of the tree with his entourage. They ate the mangoes to their heart's content. Overcome with sleep after a hearty meal, the king lay down to sleep under the tree. On the other hand, the monkeys climbed the tree and started eating the mangoes as usual. They failed to notice the king and his subjects. They jumped from one branch to another, laughing and talking. On hearing the commotion, the king woke up with a start. He looked up and saw the monkeys eating the mangoes. This he did not like at all. He ordered his soldiers to encircle the tree and prevent the monkeys from eating the fruit. The soldiers surrounded the tree and started shooting arrows at the monkeys to frighten them away. Some of them fell to the ground while some were seriously injured. The terrified monkeys approached Bodhisattva and pleaded with him to save their lives. Bodhisattva surveyed the land. On the opposite bank of the river, he noticed yet another huge tree. he decided to connect both the trees by making a makeshift bridge to reed tied with creepers. So he advised the other monkeys to work swiftly on building the bridge. Soon as the bridge was ready, Bodhisattva tied one end of the creeper to the mango tree and holding the other in his hand, he jumped across the river. Much to his dismay, Bodhisattva found the length of the bridge short by a few feet. However, not losing hope, he tied the other end of the creeper to his legs and climbed to the top of the tree. Now the bridge was ready. One end of it was tied to the tree trunk and the other to Bodhisattva himself. He then asked the monkeys to cross over to the other side of the tree using this bridge. In the process, hundreds of monkeys crossed over his body, serving as the bridge. Tired and injured, with bones rattling under the weight of the monkeys, Bodhisattva continued to hold steadfastly to the branch of the tree on the other side of the river till the last monkey had crossed over to safety. Finally, he dropped down, completely exhausted. Witnessing this incident with shock and wonder was the king. So moved was he by the sacrifice of Bodhisattva that he rushed to the other side of the river to help the half-dead monkey. But by now, Bodhisattva was on the verge of total collapse. The king tried his best to save him, but Bodhisattva died in his arms. So moved was the king that he wept bitterly at this loss. He ordered a chaitya to be built on the mortal remains of the departed monkey. People began to visit the chaitya to pay their respects with flowers, incense, and lamps to this monument of great sacrifice.